Alrighty guys, Val here and welcome to the 2014-15 Premier League prediction video. Now, what we're going to do this year, we did it last year. I haven't actually looked back to see how well I went with my predictions, but what we're going to do this year is have a look at every team's in and outs. It's just like we did last year, and then at the end we're going to have a look at the predicted league table, how I think it'll end up, that sort of stuff. We'll have a chat about all the teams as we go along, so let's get into it. The first team is Arsenal. Alrighty, not a bad way to start. Let's have a look at the Gunners. Let's see what they can do this year. So I predict them to come and probably fight for a Champions League spot. I don't think they'll get over the line to get the actual title. There's a couple other teams that might get there ahead of them. But if you have a look at the ins and outs, now they brought in Callum Chambers from Southampton, Debussy from Newcastle, Ospina from I think the French league. I'm not 100% sure. He's a keeper. He's Colombian. And obviously they brought in Alexis Sanchez from Barcelona. Now, there's some big ins. If Sanchez can fire up and get used to the Premier League, he's actually he's got a strong body, he's very strong on the ball, good dribbler, good vision, that type of stuff. I think he can actually suit the Premier League. I think they'll probably play him on the left and play Walcott on the right when Walcott is fit. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. They do have some outs, obviously some people that weren't maybe starters. I suppose Sanya's gone to Manchester City. Now, Wellington Silva's gone, Vermaelen's gone to Barcelona as well. That is a big loss for them. He was their captain. They've made Arteta captain. I don't know if he's a starter in my book, but he's obviously their captain, so he'll probably be starting the games. I don't rate him. I think I'd probably put even Flamini over him as a more solid holding midfielder. I think Arteta gets caught out with his pace, and his tackles are a little bit slow, a little bit late, that type of stuff, but it'll be interesting to see how they go, so we'll get on to the next team. Alrighty guys, so Aston Villa. Now, I don't know how Aston Villa will go. I've actually put them down to get relegated, so I put them down in 18th spot. They did actually get that nice win over Stoke last night. I actually haven't put this video out before the game started, which I'm a little unhappy at myself about. But yeah, I think Benteke is out for the start of the season. It'll be interesting to see how they go. Sissoko didn't play so well for Liverpool, so hopefully he can shore things up at the back for Aston Villa. Obviously, they've got Joe Cole, they've got some experience there. Kieran Richardson and Senderos both used to play for Fulham, and they've got Premier League experience and stuff like that. They did lose Michael Brighton, who actually did rate very highly, and Nathan Delfonso as well, Nicholas Helenius as well, and Luna, who actually had a decent season sort of last year, from what I saw anyway. I remember watching the first game where they beat Arsenal, I think, and Luna scored. He only just got transferred to Villa, and he scored on his debut, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't know how they'll go. I've actually, as I said, I've got them relegated, but I hope they prove me wrong. I don't mind watching Villa. They were probably better when they actually had Ashley Young before he was a douchebag, but we'll see how they go. Alright, Burnley. So, I've got these guys to finish last. Now, I don't know how they'll go. Obviously, it's hard to predict, obviously all the Premier League and all that sort of stuff. It's hard to predict. Matt Gilks is a good pickup. I do rate him fairly highly. Kiteley and Reid both have Premier League experience as well. I don't really know a lot about them because I don't really watch a lot of Championship football. I won't know a lot about Leicester or QPR either. Obviously, QPR, after a little bit of money, they might stay up a little bit more. But yeah, we should see how Burnley go. It'll be good to watch some new players and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm always interested in watching the new teams and see how they go from the Championship up into the Premiership to see whether they can hold their own. So I'm interested to see how they go. The Blues. Okay, so it was between them and City in my eyes for the Premiership. Now, I've put Chelsea in second. Now, I just don't know if they'll be able to get past City. It'll be very, very interesting to see how they go. Now, obviously, they've picked up Diego Costa and brought back Didier Drogba, who can both get goals. Fabregas is a beautiful player. He'll definitely... he's got the vision, he's got the passing, he's got the dribbling and all that sort of stuff. He'll definitely control the midfield. It'll be interesting to see how they play Oscar, whether they play him outright or not. Obviously, Hazard will start out left. Felipe Luis at left back will make sure as Piliqueta goes back to right back, so I don't know where Ivanovic is going to play. But it'll be definitely interesting to see how they go. I just don't think they'll get over the line. I don't trust Chelsea. Obviously, the Chelsea of 5 or 6 years ago, you could put money on and you trust them to get over the line no matter what. But I don't know if they will anymore. Obviously, they've gotten rid of a lot of players. Look at that bar: Bertrand, Cole, Eto'o, Hilario, Hutchinson, Callas, Lampard, Lukaku, Omorero, I think. Pasalic, who they actually bought, but he put back out on loan. Piazon, Romeo, and Van Aanholt, I think they've all gone out on loan. So they do like to loan out a lot of the players. They have a big squad, Chelsea. So I'll be interested to see how they go. As I said, I think they'll get second. I just don't think they'll pip Manchester City to the line. Crystal Palace. Okay, so I honestly think these guys will finish mid-table. I don't know how they'll sort of go. It'll be hard to pick. Fraser Campbell's a good pickup. Hangeland has got the experience. He did score last night as well against, I think they played Arsenal from what I remember. Martin Kelly's a solid sort of wing back. They got him from Liverpool. I don't know who Kettings is. They did lose a lot of players, some old players and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how Palace go. I don't know. I reckon they'll probably stay up. The form even though they've lost Tony Pulis just before the season started, I think they'll still stay up. It'll be interesting though. I really rate, obviously Mile Jedinak is an Aussie, very good captain, very good leader, and he just screens everything in front of that back four. So I think he'll save them a lot of goals, and I think they'll just finish probably around maybe between the 12th to 16th region on the table, something like that. I think they'll carry over the momentum from last year's finish into this season. They did play okay against Arsenal, they just got pipped at the end. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, so the Toffees. Now, I've got these guys in there to finish 6th. I honestly think they'll get 6th. I hope they do anyway. I do like to sort of watch Everton a lot, probably because I sort of followed Tim Cahill and all that sort of stuff. I really hope they get there. They play sort of nice football as well. They brought Gareth Barry in, obviously, again, and Lukaku in from Chelsea are big ins. I think Velios is gone as well. He's a young striker. I think they've put him out maybe on loan. I'm not sure if they put him on loan or sold him. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they might just get up there into the playoff for the Europa League spot. It'll be interesting to see if they do get there. I hope they do. They've got young John Stones is a really good player to watch out for. I think he's doing really, really great things at Everton. He's going to be one of the sort of top 20 Premier League, top 20 defenders, centre-backs in the world. Once he gets going in a few years, I really do rate him highly. Very good on the ball, that type of stuff as well. And obviously they've still got Baines and Coleman obviously as well at right back. Tim Howard's a boss in goal. Had a good World Cup as well, so I think they will just get to that Europa League playoff spot. The Tigers. Okay, so Hull. I think they will just scrape and get 17th on the ladder. I think they'll just stay in. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Tom Ince is a good pickup. Livermore from Tottenham is as well a good pickup. Snodgrass has got that Premier League experience. They did lose Robert Corrin, which I was sort of shocked about. He was their captain, I do believe, as well. But I don't mind watching Hull play. Obviously, they've still got Huddleston, I think it is. Huddleston? I think that's how you say it. Bought him with Livermore, obviously, from Tottenham. Then now they've got Livermore as well. I'm pretty sure they actually bought him, not loaned him out as well. So I hope they do okay. I don't mind watching Hull. I really did like Corrin, though. I was hoping he sort of stayed. But I think Tom Ince will provide them that little bit of flair that they need. And obviously Snodgrass is as well got that Premier League experience. Okay, so Leicester. So I've got these guys going down as well. Now, obviously, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. They did bring Mark Albrighton in from Villa. I don't know a lot of that. Obviously, Matthew Upson's a solid defender. He's getting on in his age, I think, a little bit as well. It'll be interesting to see how they go, though. Obviously, they got Chris Wood up there as a striker from New Zealand. I think they've still got Nugent and all that sort of stuff as well. Obviously, I think they keep a Schmeichel, if I'm not mistaken, as well. They did have a good season in the Championship last season. Obviously, they got promoted, and the Championship, sorry. I don't know if they'll be able to hold up, though. I think they will go down. I don't mind sort of what I've seen of Leicester in the Championship. I didn't mind. They weren't too bad to watch, so I hope they stay up, because I obviously like to see these new teams stay up, but I don't think they'll quite get there. Okay, the Reds. So, how I think Liverpool will go, I think they'll probably finish about 5th on the ladder. Now, obviously losing Luis Suarez is a big out. They have been, in the transfer window, going huge. They've got Emre Can from Leverkusen, I think it was Leverkusen. Adam Lallana and Lambert and Lovren, obviously all from Southampton. Manquillo, from what I saw, he was a very solid wingback. Markovic is a really good attacking force as well. And obviously Origi is not too bad as well. He's very quick, very strong on the ball, had a decent World Cup as well. I think they loaned him out, so they probably won't have him in this first season. But they did obviously have those out, so Aspas didn't really do very well. Kelly's gone, obviously, to another Premier League club. Ngog, I think that is as well, he's gone. Ngu, sorry. Now, Pepe Reina's gone, obviously, to Bayern Munich. Obviously, Suarez is the big out, and Wisdom is gone as well. So, Liverpool, I think, as I said, will probably get 5th. I think they'll probably get that Europa League squad. I don't think they'll get any better than that. Losing Suarez is going to be a big out. They still have Sturridge up there as well. Gerrard there, obviously. They've still got really good players. I just don't think they'll get any higher than 5th. And the noisy neighbours, here we go. So Man City, I think, will win the Premier League title. I think they'll just get over Chelsea. I don't think it'll be very comfortable. Obviously, I think bringing Caballero is a better keeper than Pantilimon was, so it'll bring more pressure onto Joe Hart as well. Fernando's a very solid midfielder. I don't know how he'll go. It'll probably take a little bit of getting used to the Premier League. Lampard, obviously on loan from New York City FC. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in the Premier League. I don't think he'll get used too much. Mangala, however, is a very, very solid centre-back. I really rate him highly. Him and Varane are going to be the future of France, I do believe, in the back line there. Obviously, Sanya's a nice, solid pickup as well. Just that little bit of a backup for Zabaleta. Not sure about Zuccolini. I don't know too much about him. They have gotten rid of a few players. Rodwell just wasn't getting the game time. It was a really smart move for him to move on. Gareth Barry obviously gone to Everton as well. Lescott is in the Premier League as well. Interesting to see how he goes. Obviously, he's fairly getting on in his old age. And obviously Lopez and Nimley as well. But I do think they'll just get over the line. I think it'll be tight. I'll probably go down to the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, I think. But yeah, I think they'll just get over the line, the Citizens. Now, this is the one that you've really got to sort of worry about. So, United, I've put them to get 4th. Now, I really don't know. Now, at the time of recording, this is just before Liverpool play Southampton, which is kind of ironic because they bought a lot of Southampton players. But United have just lost to Swansea. Now, I do rate Swansea. They're a nice sort of attacking brand of football. I don't know how United will go. I do think they'll get 4th. I think they'll do a little bit better. Obviously, just Louis van Gaal, just that presence in the dressing room, I think will just calm everyone down, get them all back on track. Herrera, I don't really rate too highly. I don't know why. Obviously, he's a good passer of the ball. I just don't know if he's the strong holding midfielder or the strong creative. I think he's going to be the backup for Scholes, really. But I think they needed a sort of more holding midfielder. Him and Fletcher in the middle, I don't see them as too solid together. Now, I'm not sure too much about Milinkovic. I don't know who he is really. Obviously, Luke Shaw is injured at the start. He's a very good, proven English Premier League player. I think he'll do well. I don't think there's too much to worry about that. The price tag might get him at the start. Obviously, it's a nice price to pay for an 18-year-old, but I think he will sort of come into his own. May take him a few months, but he'll get there. Obviously, losing Evra is a big out. Ferdinand, Giggs, all these old players, Vidic as well, obviously. Makeda had to go, obviously. That was inevitable. But yeah, as I said, I think they'll get 4th. I don't think they'll get any higher than that. Okay, Newcastle United. Now, I think these guys will have a decent season. I think Remy Cabella is a nice, young, centre-attacking mid. He's very, very good on the ball, good vision, decent shot as well. I think he's going to be a really good pickup. I think he'll definitely create some goals and probably obviously score some goals from midfield as well. I think these guys will probably get about 8th or 9th. I think they'll get in the top 10, the top half of the table, I think. Colback is a really sort of underrated midfielder, left back, wherever they play him. He's a nice sort of underrated player. CM De Jong, I think, may be injured right now. I'm not 100% too sure. But he's obviously a proven goal scorer as well. Jan Maat, a nice sort of right wing back. Obviously for the Dutch league as well, the Dutch team as well. And obviously Riviere. Now he's a striker from the French league. Obviously he's nice and solid. Got some goals in the French league. Be interesting to see how they go in the Premier League, whether they can get accustomed to it or not. As I said, I think they'll get top 10. Obviously losing Debuchy is a big loss, a very, very big loss. But I think they'll just scrape into the top 10. QPR back in the Premier League. Now, what they've picked up, obviously, is Corker and Ferdinand. Now, Corker I rate really, really highly. I think he should probably pretty much be starting for England, really. He's very solid. But Ferdinand, obviously, is past his prime, but he's still got something to offer to QPR, offer to Corker in particular. Obviously, you can take him under his wing and make sure he goes in the right direction and gets the best out of himself. Much is a very solid player as well. I think they got him from Cardiff, if I'm not mistaken, who did go down. They have obviously gotten rid of a few people on BR Young. Ephraim, I think he might have gone out of line, I'm not 100% sure. Jussi Benayoun, Granero. So they've lost some Premier League talent there as well. But I think with the money that they've got, with the talent they've got in the squad, I think they'll just be able to stay up. They'll probably get lower table, but I think they'll just stay up. Boy, a lot of changes in this squad. Okay, so look at those outs. Chambers is gone. Obviously, Fox is a big out as well. Lallana, Lambert, Lovren, Shaw obviously is a big, big out. So a lot of people have gone. A lot of them gone to Liverpool, to be fair. But they've sold a lot of players to Premier League clubs, which is interesting. Now, to sort of replace all those players, they've brought in Ryan Bertrand. He's a very solid wing back. It looks like, obviously, Pele is a proven striker. It'll be interesting to see how he goes though. He's not the quickest, but he's obviously got a decent head on him, good shooting. Now Tadic I rate really very highly. He can play out wide, or he can play just behind a striker type thing. He's very solid. Tyler is a nice young centre mid from, I think they got him from Inter Milan if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. I think they will probably finish sort of mid-table-ish. I don't think they'll get into the Europa League or anything like that, and I don't really think they'll get relegated. I think they will maybe not quite get as high as they did last year. Probably just due to the changing of the squad. There's a lot of people out, a lot of new faces, but yeah, I think they'll get mid-table somewhere. Alright, so the Potters. Now, these guys are always very solid in defence. Everyone knows that. They have brought in Bojan from Barcelona as well to help the attack, and Diouf as well, obviously. Now, Bardsley is a sort of a proven player in the Premier League as well. Now, they have lost Matthew Everington as well. That's a big loss. He's a very solid player. But I think, obviously, with Stoke's defence, it's very solid. They don't really drop too many points at home, even though they did lose yesterday. I think they'll probably stay up. They'll probably get mid-table somewhere. I can't really guarantee. They won't get up top. That just won't happen. That's not who they are. I don't think they'll get relegated. I think their solid defence at home will probably just keep them up. They normally get some points at home, so I think they'll stay mid-table somewhere. Okay, so the boys from Wearside, I think they will get mid-table. What I'm doing is pretty much, I'll try and pick the sort of the top 7 or 8 and then the bottom 3 or 4. But I think these guys will sort of get mid-table, just in the middle there somewhere. I don't think they'll get any higher than that. Jack Rodwell's a big pickup for them. I think that's very solid. Pentillimon as well is a nice pickup as well. He's a decent keeper. Not quite good enough for City, but obviously he is good enough for Sunderland. They have lost a lot of players in there. Now, if you have a look at that, Bardsley, Colback, Quella, Desena, obviously Gardner as well has got a nice shot on him. Vaughan and Westwood, they are very, very solid, proven Premier League players. So a lot of changing of the guard at Sunderland as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. I think they'll finish mid-table, probably lower to the mid-table, probably around sort of 13th, 14th, something like that. But I don't think they'll get too much higher than that. The Swans. Okay, they had a great start to the season. Obviously, they beat Man United at Man United 2-1. Over the last sort of year or so, that's not the greatest feat, but it's still a big thing, obviously, with Louis Van Gaal coming into the team. It's a big win for Swansea, big 3 points to start off in the new season. I think they'll finish around sort of 8th or 9th, maybe 10th, something like that. Probably the bottom side of the top end of the table, something like that. Enes is a good striker. Bafétimbi Gomis is a very, very solid striker. One of the big coup that Swansea had was really keeping hold of Wilfred Bonney. He's a very, very solid player. Can hold up the play, as Gomes can as well. They're just big boys. They've got great shots on them as well. Montero adds that little bit of pace. Now, Sigurdsson obviously is an absolute beast. Now, he obviously got man of the match, or I'm guessing he got man of the match. He got a goal and an assist in that win over Man United. Him coming back to Swansea is a big pickup for them. He's a very, very solid player. Rate him very highly. They did lose Vorm and Michu and all that sort of stuff. I still think they'll still finish in the bottom half of the top end of the table. So, interesting to see how they go, but I think they'll do that. Now Spurs, I think these guys will just miss out on some European places. So they've picked up a couple of people, obviously, Davies, Dyer, and Vorm. Now I'm pretty sure Dyer got a goal in their win, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I think they'll just miss out on European places, as I said. They did lose Livermore and Sigurdsson. Obviously Gomez has gone as well. I'm not sure who Lancaster is, but he's out. Yeah, I think they'll just miss out. I don't think they'll be able to. They just don't gel. They brought in a lot of players with the Bale money last year. They just didn't gel together. I'm hoping, obviously, Eriksson. I really rate Eriksson highly. I think he'll try and carry them. It'll be interesting to see if they get there. But as I said, I think they'll finish 7th, just outside the European places. I do like watching them, so I do hope they get maybe 6th or 5th or something like that. But I do think they'll finish just outside. Alright, so a lot of the changing of the guard at West Brom as well. A lot of people going out. Ridgewell's obviously going to the MLS. Reed's a big loss at centre-back. Logano as well. Guerra is gone, and Nelka obviously gone. Chris Baird is a nice sort of player in the Premier League as well. Gardner they picked up from Sunderland. Big pickup. Lescott from City. Wisdom from Liverpool. I think they'll probably stay up, probably get the bottom side of the mid-table. So I think probably 12th, 13th, 14th, something like that. They may be fighting for relegation, but I think they'll probably just stay up. I really do think they'll probably just get there. I'll be interested to see how they go, but I think they'll just stay up. And finally, we have the Hammers. So This is going to be the dark horse for me. I really think they'll probably get maybe 8th or 9th this year. I think they'll be pushing for those European places. I don't know why. I really think they will be. Zarate is a big pickup, obviously. Young Sacco is very solid as well. Poye, obviously Gus's son. Kiyate is a very strong, quick centre back. I think they'll be able to push up there. Now, they obviously had a decent season last season. They've lost Joe Cole, obviously. They've lost a couple other people. Collison I'm pretty sure he was playing centre back for them. But yeah, I just think the talent that they've brought in, obviously Jenkinson as well is a nice sort of a player they got from Arsenal. I think they'll be able to get sort of 8th or 9th. They'll really be pushing for that. I think that's going to be the dark horse for me this season. It'd be interesting to see how they go. And here we finally have the tables. So, as you can see there, I've got City to win it. Obviously, that could be Chelsea. It's hard to pick between those two. For the Champions League spots, we've got either City or Chelsea, the other one, plus Arsenal. Maybe United or Liverpool can sort of move up. It's hard to sort of pick. But as you can see there, I've got United to come in 4th, Liverpool in 5th. Obviously, between Arsenal, United, Liverpool, I think they'll all interchange a little bit. I think the top two will stay about the same, just whichever way they come. Everton, I think, will get 6th, between them and Spurs, and then obviously one of them might miss out. And then we obviously got all the mid-table teams. And then down the bottom, we've got Hull, I think, will just stay up. It'll be very close, but I think they'll just make it up there. Villa, Leicester, and Burnley, I've got to go down. Obviously, I hope they prove me wrong, especially Leicester. I do hope that they stay up. From what I saw in the Championship, as I said before, they're not too bad of a team to watch. So that's pretty much what I'm going to think is going to happen this season in the Premier League. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to maybe doing some match analysis and stuff like that as well, hopefully in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've been Vio, and peace.